a bill that was introduced last year prior to the shooting, and it was put on the desk right after the shooting before we as parents started advocating and sharing our stories in the legislature. So it was held on the desk, and then it got taken back up in a Senate committee right after Easter, to our surprise. Once it was taken up, it went quickly to that Senate floor and was passed on the Senate floor. And so this one is one where while we fought an arming teachers bill during special session, which was more like arming everybody that comes into a school as long as you have 8 hours of enhanced carry permit training and that permit. This one is better than that. And it has some training requirements, and it has some other requirements that you have to get approvals from, your sheriff's office, the LEA and principal, et cetera. However, we still do not believe that arming teachers that have direct classroom instruction is what is a solution to this problem. We believe in SROs. We believe in dedicated staff that are for security that have even more training than this bill requires. But we believe that a teacher's first line of defense is locking down that classroom and keeping them calm and quiet. So I haven't seen a single Democrat support this bill, number one. It's only been on the Republican side. I do understand they're trying to solve a solution for rural communities that maybe are not able to hire an SRO, although there's additional funding now from the summer that the governor put in place for specifically for SROs for all school districts. So I was hoping that they would try that first before putting forth another bill. But I understand that rural communities may have slower police response times, and this was trying to solve that issue of, hey, you have some staff or teachers armed that can, I think it's like almost like a dream scenario where you think somebody with a concealed handgun could pull it out and go up against a semi-automatic weapon. It's not going to work. We know that concealed handgun is very small. It has to be concealed. And I believe the safest thing to do would be have a dedicated staff member, not allowing anybody who's a teacher or on staff just to carry a concealed weapon. Well, it's obviously frustrating, right? Because we have shared our classroom stories and how every single child that was locked down in a classroom on March 27th survived the shooting. I even give the example of my son's classroom where the teacher could not get the door to lock. He was on the second floor around the corner from the third grade classrooms that were shot into. And the way she protected those students was really she obviously got the door shut, pulled down the shade, and got them into their hard corner. And the way she protected them the most was by keeping them calm and quiet. You can even see on the surveillance video that shooter walks right by their classroom door. They saw her feet go by. She didn't even attempt to breach their classroom. And so what's frustrating to me is we've told these stories over and over again, either in testimony or behind closed doors. And what we're saying is we're begging, hey, we don't believe adding more guns to a situation is the right approach here. We do believe in SROs. So yes, every school should have one or two or however many SROs they need. But arming the teachers with direct classroom instruction is only going to have unintended consequences. I mean, you're adding more guns into the school environment when those teachers are really meant to be teaching class, not defending a class. I would be disappointed if I see school districts enact this, but I mean, a piece of the bill really is the confidentiality of who is carrying or if a teacher is even armed. So I'm not even sure we will know who is actually operating under this bill or not. We're not going to be aware of it. Parents don't have the ability to choose or have knowledge of if their teacher is carrying or not. So that unknown to me is pretty scary. As parents, we hear a lot in the legislature about parent choice, but this is the exact opposite of that, where parents who don't want a gun to be carried by a teacher in their classroom have no knowledge or ability to say, we don't want this. I think the biggest thing to do right now is the bill is still on the desk. We're asking the legislature to leave it on the desk so we can work in kind of in cooperation with them to make the bill better. At this point, I understand that they put a lot of time into it and a lot of thought. I understand the intention behind it, addressing those rural schools, but we think the bill could be better. And so I think the thing for people to do right now is to actually call their representative, call Rep. Williams and some other leaders in the House and ask them to leave the bill on the desk. And I would urge people to call their representative today, tomorrow, and email as well. Like, to give it context, our family is a gun owning family. We've always owned guns. We believe that a lot of the things that we're asking are go along with the Second Amendment and are in line with it. Um, I don't think it's an either or situation. I think you can have both and really um, arming teachers is really kind of the last thing we should be thinking about right now. We really need to be looking at safe storage laws, protective orders, things that keep guns out of individuals' hands who are mentally incompetent, right? So that would be the first line of defense, is keeping these weapons of war out of those people's hands in the first place. I always say that my child is a survivor. He saw horrific things that day. And I say, you have to kind of look from a survivor's perspective, because just because they survive doesn't mean they don't live with the day-to-day trauma of what happens in a shooting or a mass shooting. That would be any gun violence survivor. And so what I say is, surviving isn't the goal, that we actually want to prevent these tragedies in the first place from happening. Let's stop and try and prevent them and create less survivors and more people that don't have to deal with the trauma of gun violence.